absolutely embarrassing. Literally, I cannot say how angry this club has made me today. I cannot say how angry I am at these fucking owners today. Because you have literally killed this club. It's dead. The club is so dead now. It's unreal. And the decisions that we're making behind the scenes and on the football pitch, to be honest, are nothing short than extraordinary. Like, no one else in the whole of Wolverhampton would make the decisions that are happening at our football club at the moment. You give the guy a 3-year contract and he's not even proved that he's the guy this season. He hasn't proved it yet. If he started to win football matches and got us up the table, then you go, okay, let's pull the trigger. But to pull the trigger where we've still not won a game, we've got no points, we're bottom of the table, and we've just lost to Leeds United at home. 3-1, by the way. I am absolutely done with this football club. I'm absolutely done with it. I'm done with this bullshit that we've got to contend with every single time we go and watch this football club. I'm so drained because you just don't know what more there is to even say than what you've already said. It's just a joke at the moment. The club is an absolute joke. From the top to the bottom. It's a joke. This was a must-win game. Everyone's saying, oh, you know what? I would have took a point today. We need to win football matches, guys. Otherwise, we're getting relegated. And drawing to Leeds at home today, yes, okay, it's better than losing, of course it is, but we need to be winning these matches. If we want to be a Premier League club, then we need to win matches against opposition that's not as good, the inferior opposition. But today, we were the ones that looked the inferior ones. We were the ones with naivety, the ones with our tail between our legs, and we looked inept. We looked stagnant at times. Like, there was no sort of strategic way of us playing football. And you put that down to the manager, I suppose, don't you? You put that down to the manager. The substitutions in this football match, they're the single worst substitutions I've ever seen following Wolves. Literally, like, none of them made sense. He took off the best players and left the worst ones on. And don't worry, we'll go into player scores at the end, guys. We'll leave that to the end, because that's where the fun begins, trust me. Look, are we going to get relegated? If we carry on like this, yes. Simple as that. West Ham are probably just as bad as us, but if in my opinion, we're worse than West Ham. We're worse than West Ham, in my opinion. I don't see quality in this football team anymore. I don't see leadership in this football team anymore. And all of this stems down to the owners. You have killed us. You've tried so many seasons to get away with it, and it's finally caught up on you. You should be ashamed of yourselves that you've let this happen. But this was inevitable, because you get rid of all our best players and you sign players that, let's be honest, the only reason these players are here is because we are in the Premier League. and they've seen that big players come here, show their worth, and then they're shopped forward. Because guess what, ladies and gents? That is Wolverhampton Wanderers now. There is no ambition. Our project is as simple as this. You come in, you put in a shop window, you do your little dance, and you get moved on. We are a tourist club. What do I mean by that? If you look at our stadium and you feast your eyes upon all of the country flags that wave, that's an extremely amazing achievement to have that many countries, taking part in a football club. It's amazing. But you could also look at it the way I'm saying, and that is, we are now a tourist club. Bellegarde played today because Haiti have been going nuts on social media to a point that they voted him Player of the Month. The reason Hwang Hee-chan is still in our club is because Korea love him, and it sells shirts and it sells seats. The reason why we're getting a Nigerian striker is not just because he scored a bunch of goals in Belgium. It's because we don't have a Nigerian player, and it's another player to bring in these fans, bring in the money. That's all they care about now. We are literally just a cash cow for these greedy corporate scumbags. And we cannot do anything about it. We can chant, we can make little chants, we singing for, we can do all these things. We can't do anything about it, guys. We are powerless. And they know that. So they'll just keep going on. Now in January, what will happen is that they will spend on top players to save us from being relegated. Because it happens every single season. Just relegate us. Because that would hurt them. More than anything else, that would hurt them. Sell this football club. If you are using our football club as a means to sell tourism, sell this football club. We are not made to spend money of our hard-earned money to sit there in the fucking rain and watch that shit on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. And the reason why we're seeing such dross is because the players that are coming in are not proven, guys. The reason why the manager has got another contract for 3 years is because he wants to be in a Premier League club. And I guarantee you, they've been looking at other managers and there's nothing else out there. There's no other managers that are so hungry to just be at a Premier League club and not give a shit about the project. Vitor Pereira, when he came in, did wonderful things, and I will always, always honour that. Fosun, when they first were here, did some wonderful things and bought us some fantastic players. And, you know, we saw some fantastic times. It's over now. That era is over. That era is dead. Get rid of these owners. Get rid of them. I am done with them. Not just little Jeff Shee, because he is just a very small, minute problem. The massive problem is Fosun International, who are using our club and badge to make money. not for the club to spend it on the stadium, unless you think an esports stadium is something that we absolutely need, and in which case, fantastic. You're gonna love that. We talk about the football match, I suppose, shouldn't we? Krejci gets a really good goal. It's a really well-worked goal. And it came at a time where, honestly, Wolves weren't really doing anything. Leeds looked the most threatening. You know, they looked the most sort of together. There was a togetherness about them, which was very threatening from the off. And I could see it straight away. Wolves score a goal, and you're thinking, all right, fair play. Lovely goal, Krejci, fair play, in the right time, right space at the right time. We've needed a midfielder to be doing this for a long, long time, by the way. We just haven't had it. And you're thinking, all right, cool, let's build on this now. Because it was a good move, and it came from pressure. It came from keeping them under pressure. But the trouble is, as soon as we scored and the ball went back into the centre circle for their next phase of play, we went to pieces. We turned into an absolute shit show. We were literally just letting them play. And in our naivety, that was what we wanted to do. Why didn't we just put them to the sword at that point and try to get more than one goals? Why? Why did we sit back and invite pressure and invite crosses, which we're shit at? We know we're shit at that. And Leeds know we're shit at that. That's why the first ball into the box, the first threatening opportunity, Calvert-Lewin, of all people, who has just scored for Leeds, right? His first goal for Leeds. Where have we heard that before? Newcastle. Get a new striker. Scores. If you want to showcase a player, if you want a player to build a little bit of confidence, just let him play Wolves. Do you know what I mean? We're charity FC. We're just giving shit away for free. Have your first goal. Enjoy that. Terrible defending. Should have stopped it at source. We don't. We don't stop it at source. It's a looping header, and Jose Sarr's got to do better. I'm sorry. It literally looked like a move in slow motion. It went like a fast cross. Oh my God, there it is. Bam. No chance for the goalkeeper. It took an age for it to loop, and he still couldn't get his fucking glove to it. And you think 1-1, okay, fair enough. Like, let's wake up now, lads. Right? It gets worse. Because they get a free kick. And at this point in the game, by the way, they deserve another goal. Because they're all over us. They're all over us. And they get a free kick. And whether you think it's a free kick or not, it don't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. We'd have lost this game regardless of this. The only reason why Leeds didn't come out in the second half and let us have the ball is because the job was done at 3-1. The job would have been done at 2-1. We would never score another goal. We were never going to score another goal. We were fucking hopeless. They score a free kick, and it's a good free kick to be fair, but it's the same post as Jose Sarr standing in. It's high up, and I get it. You're going to have to get your glove very, very high. It's very far into the top bin. So fair play. It's a good free kick. You take it on the chin. But then the third goal happens, and I nearly left the stadium at this point. And I never do that. I nearly left because Agbadou, who is making mistakes all game, made mistakes all season so far, including the pre-season, yet still gets football matches, yet still gets to wear the shirt from the off. makes the most ridiculous pass from the back I've ever seen. You couldn't make it up. You could not make it up this game. I'll tell you why in a minute. So he literally gives the ball away. And we just go into pieces. We go to pieces. The ball comes over to Okafor. Okafor, I don't know how to pronounce his name. It is what it is. I've never heard of this guy ever. But he finishes it really well. 3-1. 3-1. We play 3 centre-backs in a flat-back 5 in a defensive transition. And we let 3 goals in from Leeds, who have barely scored a goal all season. We go into half-time, and Leeds must just be thinking, well, why outdo ourselves now? We're winning the football match. Let's just let them have the ball, because they ain't going to do anything with it. And they're right. They were absolutely correct. We couldn't score if we had more minutes added. Everyone was moaning about the fact there was only 4 minutes added, and yeah, it was a bit of an absolute piss take, considering the amount of time wasting and VAR decisions and all this shit. 4 minutes is ridiculous. However, they could have put 40 minutes up, and we still wouldn't have scored a goal. Because it's a frantic mess on the attacking transition. We're just hoofing the ball up to a bunch of blokes that are tall and hoping for the best. That's what we've become now. We had the likes of Ruben Neves, João Moutinho, Pedro Neto, Mateus Cunha, Raul Jimenez. Some extremely good players. Vitinha even played for Wolves. We have no quality anymore. And it's all down, I'll say it again, ladies and gentlemen, Fosun Sports. It's all down to them. Because you look on the pitch and you look at the bench and you go, where's goals coming from? Where's the goals? Okay, not just the goals, because the goals will come because we've got top striker like Strand Larsen, etc. But where's the creativity to find him? There was some really inspiring moments, player moments. I mean, Rodrigo Gomez. You know what? Let's go over, right, player scores. Because I've had enough talking about this football match. We were shit. There's nothing to say. We were shit. And the main thing to talk about in this video is the state of this fucking club. It's an absolute travesty. The decline of this club needs studying. It needs studying. Jose Sarr, 4.7 he's got. He was fucking terrible. We always say, at least he's good at his shot stopping. He was shit today. He couldn't get to any of the football. Mascara got injured, but I thought he was really good. Agbadu gets a 7.5. Fuck off. Okay, this is the first time I've looked at this and gone, okay, are you joking? Agbadu was absolutely shocking. Shocking. Does well for the first goal, right? But every other time he tried to attempt something similar to that, he was caught out of possession and made to look like an absolute idiot. Slow on the turn, beaten every single time he was duelled against. barely won a duel, and every single pass was wayward. He made some good passes at some points. Yes, he did. I've got to be honest. At some points, I was like, okay, fair enough. You know, he was such a hot and cold player. But in my opinion, he was more cold than hot. And the fact that he's got a 7.5 is a fucking joke, man. Seriously. Totti Gomez was better than him and Mosquera was better than him, so I think that's a load of bollocks. I don't think they're even watching the football game if that's the case. Jackson Chitreya, I think he's a good player. I do. Defensively, I thought at one point when he was really called upon in the second half, he was all right. I think in the first half he struggled defensively. But going forward, we show promise with him getting forward with pace. But it seems like it's the only option. Do you know what I mean? At times, I'm just thinking, what's going on? And then Rodrigo Gomez getting 6.3. He was awesome. Rodrigo Gomez was amazing. He was running around, absolutely charging for the ball. He was one of the only blokes that literally looked like he gave two shits in that first half. And then he gets substituted, which we're going to talk about, because that's a massive part of this football match, by the way. João Gomez, I thought was shit, to be honest. There was times where he just looked like a headless chicken. Krejci was our best player by a country mile. I thought he was, at times, he was carrying the ball around. You know, at times he was like the first player to pick the ball up and try and keep the game going, and one of the only blokes who came and actually clapped the North Bank. I think he's a quality player, but hilariously, what's the point in getting excited about him? Because that just means he's gone next season. Do you know what I mean? So what's the point? What's the point in being excited about any of these players when you go, oh, he looks like a player? Well, brilliant. Well, he's going to look even better in a Man City shirt. Do you know what I mean? What's the point in being excited? That's where Fosun have put us now. You almost don't want your players to do well consistently, because if they do, they're gone. Fer Lopez, I thought was fantastic brilliant assist for the first goal. And he gave the ball away for the second. But I don't think he's to blame for how bad Wolves were today. There was players that were much worse than him. Bellegarde, I mean, I've already said the reason why he's played today. Because the Haiti fans are just glossing over him like crazy at the moment. So he had to play. Honestly, that's genuinely the reason. There's no other reason. Why is he playing over Arias? Arakadare, I don't think he's fit. He was walking around. When the ball came to him, his touch was terrible. There's one point where Totti Gomez passed the ball to him through the middle, and he literally did a 1-2 with him through the middle of the football pitch. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It was so strange. Yeah, not great, to be honest. And then, the thing that we've got to talk about, right, are these substitutions. Taking off Mosquera makes sense, because he was getting injured and everything, and it is what it is. You know, you've got to take off your injured players. But then he takes off Totti in the same time, and he leaves Agbadou on the pitch. He leaves Agbadou on the pitch and takes off the other two defenders. He brings Munetsi on. And you're just thinking, right, okay. Munetsi comes on for Fer Lopez. He takes off Rodrigo Gomez, by the way, as well. Strand Larson makes sense because obviously it's a like for like sub, but like in the moment, right? Talking about it now doesn't seem, it's crazy, but in the moment, none of the substitutions made any sense. It feels like he has favourites. Why didn't Andre start today? Because I get that Krejci and João Gomez work really well together in a way because they're very different. But then Krejci's a better defender than Agbadou. So he needs to rest Agbadou. He needs to rest him because his confidence is at an all-time low at the moment. And it's not doing him any favours playing football. Just take him off for a few games. Get him hungry for it. Get him trained up. Get him out of the spotlight for a bit. Then bring him back in the fray and let him cook. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've got other players that can play there. And he just seems to just keep doing it over and over and over again. And today, I'm not going to lie to you, for the first time in a very long time, Vitor Pereira today, had he not had that contract, I think he'd have been sacked today. 5 losses. Right? We haven't won a football match in, I can't even tell you how long. I can't even tell you how long it's been. We look the worst defensively than we've ever looked. Like, you could argue Gary O'Neill was probably pretty bloody bad at one point as well, but we are so poor at crosses. And it doesn't make any sense because we've probably got one of the tallest teams in the Premier League. But we don't do nothing with it. Just poor. Just really poor showing from Wolves. But it all stems down to where the owners have put us. They've completely ruined any chance of us having any success going forward. We are a tourism club. You will come here and you will show your thing and you may or may not get the signing that you want to a bigger club. And that is all we are now, guys. And that's the reality. That's the reality. I've just got no energy. Like, I want to be angry, but I'm like, what's the point? What's the point in being angry at the moment? Because we're getting what we deserve. We're getting what we deserve because our owners are still here doing fucking stupid shit that they've been doing for God knows how long, and we haven't learned. And that's just going to be how it is. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, guys. If you're new, hit that notification bell so you don't miss future videos. And I'll see you guys on the next one.